All right, hey guys, it is time for a little bit of an update on Mr. Ragen because there's a couple of I I, I had hunches that Ragen was get her off the screen for now. She is not in this video. There we go. Neither is Preen is kind of in this video, but there's been a lot of interesting matchups that we've seen, and I just want to bring to your attention a little bit of a matchup that I think globalers would be kind of interested in. So let's show this off. So this is Ragen, Christmas unit or winter unit, Raviz, as well as Alaya versus Thunder Skahal. That combination. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because, you guys can just watch and see. I think that globalers who are potentially pulling for Resnick will find this fight fairly interesting. And yeah, we'll just take a peek here and see how this works. So, I mean, like, the other thing is we're getting a little bit more data on Ragen. And again, shout out to Peachin, who does these really great, cool videos. Like, he's got this Thunder team. And the thing is that he did a lot of matchups. So he did matchups versus, like, Thunder, Dark, just all kinds of matchups. Lots of different stuff with this new Ice team. And the thing is Ragen's not a bad character by any means. Matter of fact, he's quite, one would say, even good. But the question of whether or not he is good enough to actually be worth people's resources and potentially be a big consideration for saving is questionable, because, like, you look at him and you look at his stats and you're like, okay, well, he's good in X, Y, and Z matchup. That's one of the things right there, the thing you just saw. So he can heal for an absolutely massive amount, and it's kind of interesting because he effectively is capable of a good degree of outlasting opponents and how much damage they can do. However, as you can see, he does still have his own particular weaknesses, things that just don't go particularly that well. Like, he is not going to be a overall different maker in this kind of matchup. Like, this is the thing that you are potentially looking to counter with Bunny Resnick. And you think that this is incredibly oppressive, but again, there are teams that can handle this, and there are teams that get potentially shut down depending on what the map is. But you can see there, like, that is just a good example of one of the reasons why Ragen is really good and really bad. Like, there, like, all of his long range support was immediately killed off. He grouped together and kind of got hit, and while he was able to survive, Raviz just didn't, kind of thing. So, like, what is the big takeaway here? Because obviously there is just a lot of different matchups. This is the Dark one I was talking about also in my previous Resnick video. And here, I do believe a little bit of a change. You can see Barris is here as well. So we're getting a bit of a different team, bit stronger, also being able to use that buff right there to really power up multiple characters at a single time, especially against a key element in this matchup. And it's not just that. Like, I've seen him into an Ice Mirror, where the Ice Mirror team had a lot of long range, and that was a team that he basically ended up losing. The kind of Barris Alaya combo, which is, by the way, just incredibly powerful in terms of, like excuse me, strong matchups. It's just really, really powerful and difficult to beat a lot of the times. For some people. Again, depends on the map, but here you can see this with Sephiroth being able to strike quite hard, take out a bunch. Now we do have haste here, which is good. And again, you're going to see in action a 7,000 HP heal on himself makes him quite like independent of others, but you can see once that disappears and dissipates, it's a little more scary for him. Got Sephiroth down. Score. Now he just has to worry about the other 2 units. Gets that CT boost. Which is quite nice, but not really gonna save him. And so, like, one of the things I think that is really important is just what kind of support this unit has. 3 100 cost characters naturally should be pretty strong, but I think the combination of Bareth as well as Alaya just is a little bit stronger. Depends, of course, map, AI, little flitterings here and there, but you can see the matchups. Like, he's going to be able to heal, but it's eventually just going to be too much. I wonder if he's just going to lose casting time on his healing for his upgrade. Nice little counter hit there. Not enough. So yeah, a little bit more cursory testing of these kind of groupings. You can get an idea for what is working with Ice versus what isn't. Ice being able to get off the ground and do a lot of long range damage still feels pretty essential, but Ragen is quite tanky in the sense that he, is against and like chaining damage against him. But then you just have a little bit of this issue of like, well, okay, but where do you go from here? Like, what do you do to really get a most? Right, so this has to be important. Good shot, but does have re-raise. And here we have this issue of, once again, just units grouping up way too much. Not a kill there. But we have Majin Fina coming right up. And we also have that. So yeah, that hatred management there. Ooh, that's a bit of a miss. Well, it's not a complete and total loss. It's fine. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of matchups here, and I'm just going to kind of skip through them. If you can see here, this is one of the things that he can potentially do in combination with Barris, is just outlast the opponent a lot. So, I mean, I will put the video link in the description for anybody who wants to watch the whole thing. Like, here is just against Light, and a lot of the newer Light units, just to skip to the end so we can see a little bit of a spoiler. You can see doing pretty good, but yeah, that's about when it falls apart. Especially with the inaccuracy. But yeah, he goes up against some fights against water. He goes up against some other things. Overall, like, strong thing in combination with other ice units. Can be a tide turner despite outlasting the opponent, but in terms of like if he is doing anything that is particularly like super more successful than a lot of the other new DPS units, no, he's just a really solid unit. And in combination with the right teammates can be a definite force to reckon with, but still some mid-mirror matchups or some other matchups that aren't super favorable for him. And it does ask the question if it's just better to go straight ice ranged instead of splitting your damage. But yeah, just a bit of an update on Mr. Ragen. I still think he's quite strong. One thing I do want to talk before we go is, I gotta switch screens here, is a little bit of the percentages. So we talked a little bit about his sword. He increases CT by 200 when his HP falls below 20%. You saw that. Slash attack resistance penetration of 20. As for his TMR, is a 25 increase for ice attack and fire attack, plus 40% attack increase, which was something that I missed. As for acquired AP, up by 30%, healing power by 20. That's why his HP heal is so strong. And reaction block rate of 20 on his master ability. Now, going into here, you can see a little bit more of the numbers and definitely check them out for yourself. But elemental chain resistance of 40 is pretty strong. And just some other numbers, like just slash penetration of 40 just off of this, slash attack resistance penetration of 40. He is definitively like a overall strong in terms of a lot of the things that are on his abilities. The problem is, I think, a little bit, again, is just his range, which was already a problem we noted in the previous video. And the fact that quite a few of his mods are like 165 and don't really excel beyond that. So without him using key abilities such as this to potentially give him just more resistances, or this ability which potentially gives him good like into specific matchups, it does feel a little weak. Not too terribly, but a little weak. So yes, Ragen, I do want to say, strong unit, helps ice in very key matchups, where it was partially strong and at least good into like some mirrors. Can be a really powerful unit that can outlast because of that huge HP heal off of his support skill, but clearly not a like meta establishing unit. He isn't going to just make everything go away overnight, but we'll see how he develops over time. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.